He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
Hello, Emil Donovan here from The Night Show. And on The Night Show, one of our highlights of the week is Fridays, when we get all kinds of cinematic with shortcuts. We recommend you one new movie, which is in cinemas now, one pick of the week from the paid streaming platforms, and also something that you can watch for free. What more could the heart desire? Here is Short-Cuts with Night's movie man, Dan Slevin. Dan, you've been to the cinema. What have you been to see, and what was it like?
Right, well, this week's cinema selection is a New Zealand-UK co-production, and it's kind of unusual in that respect. It's a very British subject matter, so the New Zealand component is really the director and some of the creative people like the cinematographer Maria Inez Manchego, the music by Carl Stephen, but it's a very British topic, and it's called Moss and Freud, and it is about the famous friendship between the supermodel Kate Moss and the notorious British artist Lucian Freud, who painted Moss's portrait over a period of several months in 2002, and they became quite close friends. There was a bit of friction there as well, but Freud was aging and unwell, and Moss was kind of at the peak of her fame, the peak of her powers. And it's a film about her, I guess, taking control of her life and her career after it being pretty much out of control in the 90s, that she was paparazzi fodder, tabloid fodder. She went out with Johnny Depp, as I recall. And so there were, and of course the whole world of modelling in the 90s, whether it was fashion modelling or photography, the kind of the lad world that controlled everything, young women were not treated particularly well. And so she was, I think, traumatized for a lot of that period, and this story and this friendship with Lucian Freud is helping her emerge into becoming the kind of the great business titan that she is now. And of course, this is told very much from her point of view. She's an executive producer on the film, so this is a kind of approved version of the story. Kate Moss is played by the English actor Ellie Bamber, who I didn't know beforehand, but she's very, very fine as Kate Moss. But I think the high point for me is the appearance of 87-year-old Derek Jacobi, Sir Derek Jacobi, as Lucian Freud. He is one of the titans of British theatre and film, and it's so good to see him still digging deep and producing excellent performances. I saw him in 1983 at the Royal Shakespeare Company in Cyrano de Bergerac, one of the most stupendous performances I've ever seen in my life. So it's a great pleasure to know that he's still going strong.
Yeah, I mean, that era of modelling, the world that Kate Moss kind of grew up in. I suppose, when you are that girl, there aren't, I suppose, too many people who can really help you through it, because not that many people have been that girl. And that point in time as well, as you say, the lad culture, but also I remember that was when sort of heroin chic was really in, and the style, the fashion for models at that time, and Kate Moss kind of exemplified this, was this worryingly stick-thin, cheekbones jutting out, ribs jutting out kind of. She really lived a life, Kate Moss, didn't she?
She did, and she argued all the way through that period that was just how she looked, that she wasn't starving herself to get that figure. And there were other supermodels that had a different physique. She even mentions like Cindy Crawford and people like that who are slightly more buxom, perhaps. But it was not an empowering period for young women, and no matter how much money they were making, they were essentially pieces of meat to be moved around a stage or a chessboard or put in front of a camera. They didn't have much control over their own lives, and so her choice to not just have her portrait painted by Lucian Freud, but to have that portrait be a nude, where she gets to choose when she takes her clothes off, not be ordered around by a manager or a photographer or a magazine editor. Interestingly, the finished painting was not the favourite of either of them, actually. Neither of them were particularly happy with it, but it did end up selling for something close to £4 million. So, nice work if you can get it.
Nice work if you can get it. We do have a clip, but do you want to play the clip,
that's right,
Dan,
we do
or should
too.
we go for it.
No, we will, because I can introduce this. This is actually their first meeting at the National Gallery in London. Lucian Freud is looking at a painting by the artist Titian.
Could you imagine anything more beautiful? Come and see. Titian's Diana and Actaeon. I sometimes like to think of myself as Actaeon in the painting. The silliness of the man and the questionable assumption he has an effect on the women's behavior. When I see something like this, so perfect, I wonder, how could this have been painted? It must have always been here.
I don't really know him. Beautiful colours.
That's Moss and Freud, which is in cinemas now. Now, Dan, you've been taking advantage of your Netflix subscription. You have been watching Marty, Life is Short, about Martin Short. This looks like a great watch. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I want to apologise first of all, because this is the second week in a row that I have recommended a celebrity documentary, and I normally would like to prefer to space them out and have a little bit more variety. But last night we had a choice of 3 things to watch, and I gave the editor-in-chief, the brains of the outfit, the opportunity to choose what we watched, and she chose this documentary about Martin Short, and I'm so glad she did, because it is hysterically funny. It's moving as well, but when you watch celebrity documentaries and a lot of the laughter is a recognition of nostalgia, or you remember laughing to a joke or a gag first time around. Well, with this one, it's all genuinely funny. Like, every single piece of archive footage of performance of Martin Short. There's one sequence where it's home movies from Steven Spielberg, who is filming a summer party at Martin Short's house, and Martin Short's playing his character Ed Grimley. Tom Hanks is playing Forrest Gump, and they are improvising essentially a version of the famous jump from the cliff in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and I was literally crying with laughter. And this is just home movies. I can thoroughly recommend it. Martin Short, one of the nicest people in show business. Everybody loves him, and there's a lesson here, I think, which is that if you are a huge amount of fun to be around, if you are somebody who makes everybody happy, then you will obviously it helps if you are phenomenally talented as well, but generally speaking, you will work every day that you want, and that seems to be the case for him. He is beloved, and even though his life has been touched by tragedy, he bounces back every single time. We've got a clip from the trailer for this one, so let's have a listen to that.
I'll tell you something about Marty. Let's say you're going to host a dinner party, and you invite Marty.
I loved you in Home Alone. You're wonderful.
And then it turns out Marty can't come. You cancel the party.
In this business, in the world of comedy, there's nobody faster.
You used to do circus work.
I was a freak for a while.
There's nobody smarter.
Just because the eyes are so dull doesn't mean that there's not a machinery of wheels clicking away.
There's nobody funnier.
Say something funny.
Oh, you were the guy.
I feel like he could improvise to eternity, couldn't he?
This sounds great, Dan, and I'll just tell you, I know that we have to move on, but Martin Short's character, Jiminy Glick, is, I think, one of the best. So, you know how the Americans, it's the Saturday Night Live thing. They create these characters, Austin Powers and so on and so forth. Jiminy Glick, I think, is just one of the best, one of the absolute funniest.
You know what I thought you were about to say, though? I thought you were about to say that he was the inspiration for your own personal interviewing style.
I wish. Although, maybe we could all learn something from Jiminy Glick. Those of us in this line of work. All right, that is Marty, Life is Short. It's streaming on Netflix. Dan Slevin, a couple of minutes at the end to talk about your free streaming pick this week, which is on TVNZ.
Yeah, this is on TVNZ Plus streaming, and I wanted to mention it because it came out in the summer of 2023 when, as is usually the case, RNZ was kind of on a movie reviewing hiatus, and so I didn't get to review it, neither did Simon on At the Movie, so it kind of never got put on record at RNZ as being the great Jason Statham film that it is. It is the Statham film. It is the epitome of everything that we love about the great Jason Statham. It is very, very silly, but it is also very, very violent. And it's called The Beekeeper. And you know how you can put up with almost any amounts of violence on screen if the villains are evil enough to deserve it? Well, these are the most evil villains I think I've ever seen on screen. When they're announced and when their evil plan is hatched, I was quite happy to nuke them from orbit myself. But actually, we have Jason Statham as a former special forces operative who's coming out of retirement to avenge the damage that these people have done to his best friend. They've stolen her life savings, and by golly, you're just behind him all the way. And the other thing I loved about it is that it's one of those things where the plot goes to the very top. Have you seen this one,
I haven't,
Emil?
No. I've seen the trailer for it, though. It does look fabulously ludicrous.
Absolutely, it goes to the very, very top. The villains, as I say, are just ridiculous and extreme, and you just root for Statham all the way through. It's absolutely pitch perfect. The Beekeeper, not for the whole family, I should point out, but it's also kind of a lot of the violence is very cartoon violence, so I think it's probably not going to offend too many grown-ups.
All right, that's The Beekeeper, streaming on TVNZ. And what have we taken from this tonight, Dan? That you'll take your inspiration moving forward from Jason Statham, and I'll take mine from Jiminy Glick?
I think so. Maybe we'll swap halfway through the year.
Yeah, that's good. We can compare notes. Great stuff. Dan Slevin, thank you very much. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you.
That's our movie man, Dan Slevin, there with Short-Cuts. All of those picks are up on the website as well.